Okay. And can you please start? Oh, so wait. I will share the screen for you.
I have it, okay.
Oh, you want to share it by yourself?
Oh, it's okay, you can see my screen now?
Okay. Yes.
Can?
Yes.
Okay, let's start. Okay, hello everybody. So today we'll talk about the data. I am Sori. My name is Sulaiman and I'm data engineer. You can call me Kang Soli. And I'm here because I love to talk with you about data and what we do while working with data. So I got request from Kak Lila to talk with you about data. So to prepare for my presentation today, I asked her a few questions. So I started with like, how many students do we have here? So she said we have around 30 students. And are they boys or girls? So she said we have around 23% boys and 76% girls. And I was wondering how old they are. How old are they? And I asked her and she gave me like the numbers, this ages and this ages, boys and girls and so on. So through this few questions, I got some information, data about the people who I will talk with and give presentation today about data. And we'll start with the definition of what's data. So the definition, as both say, data is a collection of information gathered by questions, observation, or measurement. And that's exactly what happened here. I asked a few questions to Kak Lila, and based on her knowledge, she answered me on these questions by some facts and measurements. How many students? 30. Boys or girls? We have boys and we have girls. How old they are? This is how it looks like. And data is often organized in graphs or charts for analysis and may include facts, numbers, or measurements. And that's what I did here. Oops, sorry. So I simply got the data. I got answering when Kak Lila answered my question, I collected this data and I put it in graphs as you see. By chart showing me that we have boys and girls and this is their percentage. How old they are, I put it in bar chart. So anybody now can look to this chart and he will know how many students we have, boys or girls, and how old they are. This is information from this data. So data and information is around us everywhere. Like everything you have around you contains data and information. The images you have in your phone, the music playlist you play, the books you read, the address of your house, the mobile game you play, the photo you watch in the internet or the website you visit or the market you go to. All these are data around us. And we take this data to use it. And this is what I will talk to you about soon. But first, what data types we will face in the world, like how we can categorize different data types. We have two types we'll talk about here, categorical data and numerical data. And we already go through it earlier. Boys or girls, it's category. You are in the boys category or the girls category. Cat or dog, far or near, good or bad. This is category, which we call it qualitative data. And we have numerical data. How many students we have? We have 30 students. How long is the session? 1 hour. When this session is? How, like when we count 5 apples, 4 orange, all these are numerical data, is quantitative data. So these types of the data you see around you every day. Both for translation? Or all good?
Okay, all right. I will translate a little bit here first. Jadi tadi kita mendengarkan penjelasan dari Kak Soli mengenai apa itu data. Apa itu data gitu ya. Jadi Data itu adalah kumpulan informasi yang didapatkan dari misalnya bertanya atau misalnya observasi, lalu pengukuran gitu ya. Seperti contohnya tadi ditanyakan berapa jumlah siswa di beasiswa ilimac, terus berapa perempuan, berapa laki-laki, kayak gitu ya. Lalu data ini diolah menjadi grafik atau menjadi tabel untuk selanjutnya dianalisis. Lalu data itu bisa ada apa ya, berbagai macam bentuknya di sekitar kita. Misalnya foto yang ada di handphone kita, lalu musik yang ada di handphone kita, keberadaan kita, lokasi kita ada di mana, kayak gitu ya. Itu adalah contoh-contoh dari data. Okay, please continue.
Okay, thank you. So what I do with data, what's my everyday job looks like, what we do with data in our data fields. We have a lot of people working in data now. So we start, this is a journey of data. That's what I'm doing in summary. And I will take you on journey with every step of this one. So we collect the data. So as you saw, we have some question asked Kak Leila, we collect the data from here. Then we store this data. We will see how we can record and store this data. And we clean this data. Not all the data we collect is good data. There are good data and there are bad data. So how we can keep the good data and remove the bad data. Then we analyze this data, and analyzing it, going through it and see what's meaning, how it looks like, or is it good, how it's bad, and so on. Then we use this data. We need to make decisions based on this data. And then we go to the level, the higher level, artificial intelligence level, which are like, let's make a software computer that can use the data and make decision by itself. We will go through all this journey, and we are taking today one example to go through. Today, we will try to help a businessman who want to open car painting shop in Bandung. So he want to know which area have which type of cars. So, and which area he should open his shop at. So we will go through all these steps to collect data about cars in Bandung, and to make the decision, help the guy to make the decision where he should open his car painting shop. So first we will start how to collect the data. This is the first step, or having data. So we know the challenge is, there are few steps we go through. We determine what information we want to collect. So we want to collect number of cars and types of these cars in each area in Bandung. And we want, number two, set a time frame for this data. We want to see exactly during the weekend only, like Saturday and Sunday. What's the number of cars from model BMW, Toyota, or Honda in Saturday and Sunday in each area of Bandung. Then we need to decide how we will collect this data. So we are collecting data about cars. Now we need to decide how we will collect this data. Will we go and observe by our eyes for each traffic light, how many cars crossing by Toyota, Honda, BMW, or we will go track it from the maps, the GPS, the maps that they are using. If the driver using map, we can track this data. Or we are using the camera that's there in the traffic light that capture photos of the cars and automatically give us the model of the car, the color of the car, the brand of the car, all the day. Then we need to record this data. So we collected the data, we need to record it. We don't just like see it by our eyes and let it go. No, we need to record this data in our records. And then we store it so we can use it later. So this is how we will collect the data, using our eyes, using the maps, or using the cameras in the traffic lights. Then we will store the data by the end of the step. Translate.
Okay. I will translate a little bit about the explanation just now. So jadi tadi Kak Soli cerita apa yang dia lakukan sih dengan data gitu ya. Jadi ada beberapa step yang dia lakukan. Pertama, dia kumpulkan datanya, kemudian datanya itu disimpan, kemudian datanya dibersihkan gitu ya, clean the data, jadi dibersihkan datanya, lalu datanya dianalisis, digunakan, lalu ada juga namanya artificial intelligence atau kecerdasan artifisial gitu ya. Lalu step pertama, gimana caranya kita mengumpulkan data. Jadi tadi Kak Soli memberikan contoh, kalau misalnya kita mau membantu seorang pebisnis gitu ya, yang ingin membuka bengkel ngecat mobil gitu ya di Kota Bandung. Jadi dia ingin tahu ada mobil jenis apa aja di daerah mana aja gitu. Lalu ketika kita mengumpulkan data, pertama kita harus menentukan dulu informasi apa aja nih yang kita ingin kumpulkan. Lalu ada time frame gitu, jadi ada batas waktunya ingin kapan. Misalnya kali ini pingin weekend aja gitu ya, di akhir minggu. Lalu kita tentukan metodenya mau seperti apa, apakah itu kita terjun ke jalan lalu kita perhatikan satu-satu mobilnya, atau kita track lewat map ya, lewat aplikasi, atau misalnya kita gunakan kamera yang ada di jalanan gitu ya, di lalu lintas. Lalu kita catat datanya, lalu kita simpan data tersebut. Alright, please continue.
Okay, so we collected the data. We collected the data like our friends stand there and collect the data. We use the data from the maps we get from the driver who are using their maps. We get it from the cameras that's there. Then we need to store this data. We need to put this data all somewhere, and we able to access this data again at any time. So how data storage history started? So in the old days, the ancient Egyptian, as examples, they wrote their history and register it on the walls. So when you go to Egypt, you find big temples, big places have all the walls with like writing on it. Then after that, the human invented paper. So they started to register the history on papers. Anything they want to register, any data they want, they put it on paper. All this we call data. Then they wanted to spread it. Then they invented the printing to speed up the idea of like, we have a lot of copies of the data and we can store the data on the papers, a lot of copies, and spread it around the world. In the last 200 years, the process changed and developed so faster than all the previous history. And this is when they started to record the data on tapes, cassettes, video, and data tapes. And since when I was kids in schools and high schools, when we were submitting some homeworks and so on, we used floppy disk. And I'm sure you see this floppy disk icon everywhere, but we used to use this device itself to have data, both data and projects and homework there. Any computer also, you know, that have hard disk, and we have CD, DVD, and the USB you are using. And if we have a lot of data, we can store it in data centers. And data centers is like, you see here in this room is like a lot of computers with a lot of storages, devices connected together to put a lot of data there. So we store the data in something we call database. What's database? So we observed the numbers of cars that's crossing a traffic light. So we got like 10 Honda cars color yellow, 30 color blue, 5 orange. And from Toyota type, we got 20 yellow, 15 blue, 45 orange, and BMW 7 yellow, 10 blue, 16 orange. So now we have this data. We collected this data from the observation or from the map or from the camera or any software that's tracking this data. So we have this data in, let's say, in spreadsheet or in table. Then this from point one, and from other friends, he gave us other data, and from other traffic light, we collected other data. So we have a lot of tables, looks like this one. So all this table we put together in what we call database. So database is where we store a lot of tables, and their relationship between each other. And that's what we call database. So in the current time, when we store data, we start to do the database. So database have all the data we are collecting. There are a lot of types of database, and there are a lot of types of data storage that we have. In our example here, that we are working with our efforts to help our friend to start his painting shop, the best solution we have is this type of tables or this type of database. So we will save all the data we collect from all the traffic lights and all our friends and all the maps in this database in the same style you are seeing here.
Okay. Let me explain in Indonesian. Lalu tadi dibicarakan mengenai bagaimana cara kita menyimpan data, gitu ya. Jadi tadi dijelaskan sejarahnya nih dari zaman dulu, misalnya di Mesir, gitu ya, di kampung halamannya Kak Soli, gitu, di Mesir kuno itu mereka menyimpan data ya seperti cerita mereka itu di dinding, gitu ya, misalnya. Lalu kemudian dengan seiring dengan berjalannya waktu, jadi ada kertas, kemudian ada lagi printer ya untuk membuat banyak kopi. Lalu berkembang lagi teknologinya, jadi ada kaset, ada video, ada floppy disk ya, disket itu mungkin kalian nggak pernah lihat karena itu zaman dulu. Kemudian yang sekarang mungkin kita suka pakai itu misalnya hard disk atau USB. Lalu kalau misalnya datanya sangat besar, itu biasanya disimpan di yang namanya data center. Gitu. Jadi misalnya ada satu ruangan, terus isinya ada banyak komputer ya, kayak ada di gambarnya tadi, di pinggir bawah. Itu data center namanya. Lalu misalnya tadi dengan contoh menghitung mobil, itu kita mendapatkan nih data, misalnya ada berapa mobil Honda yang warnanya kuning, berapa mobil Toyota yang warnanya biru, lalu yang BMW itu ada berapa gitu ya. Itu nanti datanya itu menjadi kumpulan, misalnya kita ngumpulin data di persimpangan A, lalu teman kita di persimpangan B, kumpulan data itu nanti menjadi sesuatu yang namanya database. Alright, please continue.
Okay, so we collected the data now. Now we need to clean this data. And why we need to clean this data? Because we need to be sure that all the data sources we collected, get this data from, are all like aligned together. Like we are focusing with 3 types of cars, Honda, Toyota, and BMW. So if somebody collecting data about Mercedes, we don't need it because this is not in our scope. Also, if 2 of our friends or 2 of our data tables come from the same place, like I go to the traffic light and I register all the things I saw, but also my friend goes there and registers the same thing. So we have duplication now. So we need to like remove this duplication, only keep 1 record, and so on. So we do the process like cleaning the data because there are good data that will help us and there are bad data that will not help us. The good data characteristic, usually it's accurate. We are collecting data about cars, not about bikes, not about motorcycles, not about bicycle, not about anything else. We just focus on cars. And we collect data about 3 types of cars. So only these 3 types of cars. Any other thing, it's like inaccurate data. We collect the data complete. So we need to know the car is Toyota and the color and where we collected it from. And it should, all the data be consistent, the same thing. And all of it should become in the weekend, same weekend, not different weekends. And we don't need to duplicate. And we need to be sure that this data is correct. We can use this data. This is a good data. If the data is bad, it will be the opposite. Inaccurate, you will find missing data, it will be random, you will find it duplicated, you will find it invalid. So our focus when work with data is to be sure that the data we are collecting and working with is good data that help us in the next steps. data cleaning is very important process. So we may spend a lot of time cleaning the data we have, and this is like one big issue with the data. And when the data is clean and you can use it, it became like expensive thing. It's make you able to do business just with cleaning the data, and make the data ready to be used to the other steps is already a place where you can have business already. So data cleaning, always we put a lot of effort to make sure that we have clean data, good data, and avoid the bad data.
Oke. Lalu penjelasan yang tadi ya. Selanjutnya tahapnya adalah membersihkan data gitu. Jadi membersihkan data itu pada dasarnya untuk menghilangkan data-data yang tidak relevan gitu ya, yang tidak sesuai dengan apa yang kita cari. Jadi data yang bagus itu adalah data yang akurat, yang komplit, yang konsisten, lalu unik dan valid gitu ya. Jadi kalau misalnya tidak memenuhi karakteristik itu, maka tidak termasuk data yang bagus. Lalu pembersihan data ini adalah proses yang penting untuk memastikan bahwa kualitas dari informasinya itu baik ya, untuk nantinya setelah dianalisis itu digunakan, bisa digunakan untuk membuat suatu keputusan. Okay, please continue.
Thank you. So after we have clean data, we can start to get values from this data. So we go to the next step, which are analyzing this data. And as we said from the beginning, we are collecting data about cars in Bandung and where they are, and especially the three types of cars, BMW, Toyota, and Honda. So after we collected this data in the tables we saw, we have it in the database. We collected from cameras, from people, from traffic maps, from all of this. So we have a lot of sources of data. We cleaned it, and we have now data that we can use to give insights and correct information about where you can find the most BMW cars, or where you can find the most Toyota cars, where you can find the Honda cars, which other areas that's like far from this BMW car. If you want to open your shop in nearby Honda or Toyota, then which places near, and so on. So the analysis that's happening to the data we have, we count how many cars go to this traffic light, how many of it is BMW, how many of it is Toyota, how many of it Honda, and we also can count how many of it yellow. And we know which color is the most common color in Bandung. Most of the cars color white or color gray, and so on. So from the analysis of the data that we have, we can now put insights in a map, in a chart, in a lot of charts that we can like say, okay, Honda cars are here. This is a majority of people in this area. The majority of them have Honda cars. But if you go to the other side, Toyota is the most available car there, and BMW at this side. We did analysis of the data, and based on that, we have now a lot of knowledge about where to go if you want to go to Honda, Toyota, or BMW.
Oke. Jadi tadi adalah step selanjutnya di mana tentang menganalisis data gitu ya. Jadi setelah kita mengumpulkan data-data dari misalnya dari berbagai persimpangan ya, dari lampu merah gitu ya. Nah, kita dapat nih misalnya mobil Honda itu banyaknya di daerah mana, mobil Toyota banyaknya di daerah mana, BMW banyaknya di daerah mana gitu. Jadi kita tahu persebarannya ada di mana, jadi data itu lebih bisa dimengerti. Oke, let's continue.
Okay, so now we have the map. We know where every car gathered more. So how we use that? So how we can make value from this data? Now we have the data. That's not enough. Yeah, it's good to have the data, but now you need to use this data to make business, make benefits, make usage of it, make decisions. So we have data-driven decisions. So our client will ask us, where should I open my new car painting shop? And we will answer, because now we have the data. We are the expert at this moment. We are the people who know everything about cars in Bandung today. Like, based on our data, the best location should be like this. And it's measured based on few factors. What you want to do. We want to help our client to reduce his cost when he opens his painting shop and increase the speed of his business. And always he have new clients, and we can always collaborate with him in making decisions and good planning. That's what we call data-driven decision making. We have the data. We are now helping him to make the decision based on this data. You want to open a painting shop for BMW? Okay. The most convenient place, go to this area in Bandung, because the client is nearby you. They will prefer to come to you rather than traveling to faraway places. And also, you should know that these clients are painting their car with white. So you don't buy other colors, buy only white color. And when they ask it for new colors, you can buy it, but don't spend money in colors that they will not use. And you can come for us after 3 months. We will tell you, is this the same? Is the people happy with you and your product or not? Or is the people moving to other area or not? Are the growing of number of BMW at your area still going or not? So you can do planning about your future steps. So now, using the data we have, we are helping the clients, our people, to make decision based on the data. That's what we call data-driven decision making.
Oke, jadi step selanjutnya adalah bagaimana caranya kita menggunakan data itu, bagaimana caranya kita mendapatkan nilai tambah dari data. Karena kalau misalnya kita cuma tahu aja nih, oh ini lokasi Toyota ada banyaknya di sini, lokasi BMW di sini, itu kurang berharga ya, fungsinya apa gitu. Nah, jadi tadi dijelaskan sama Kak Soli bahwa ada yang namanya data-driven decisions, atau artinya jadi keputusan yang berdasarkan dari data gitu ya. Jadi kasusnya itu kan tadi ada teman kita nih yang ingin membuka bengkel cat mobil. Nah, jadi dari situ karena kita udah punya nih datanya, kita bisa memberikan saran kepada dia, misalnya, oh karena kamu mau buka bengkel untuk BMW, sebaiknya kamu bukanya di daerah A misalnya. Lalu dari data yang kita kumpulkan, oh ternyata banyaknya itu mobil orang itu senangnya warna putih gitu. Jadi si orang yang mau buka bengkel ini dia bisa nyetok catnya itu yang warna putih gitu. Jadi nggak usah yang warna kuning gitu, karena jarang juga yang akan pakai gitu misalnya ya. Jadi dari situ data itu bisa digunakan untuk membantu seseorang membuat keputusan, kemudian melakukan perbaikan, lalu melakukan perencanaan untuk selanjutnya. Okay, please continue.
Okay. So after we succeeded with our project in Bandung, so we were successful in Bandung, right? We did a good job. We collected good data. We helped our client to open his shop, and his shop is so successful, and we made a good project. Then we got new clients from Jakarta, from Sumatra, from Surabaya, from Bali, who want to also open painting shop in their city, car painting shop in their city. So now we need to get data from Jakarta and Sumatra, Surabaya, Bali. It's a lot of data. So one database will not be enough. We need more database, and we need to get it like from other resources and other places. Maybe another camera or map or other company will give us data. So now we are moved from data to big data. And the big data is a big amount of data. For example, when we collect all data from Indonesia, Indonesia is so big, and you want to see every place there, where you should open your painting shop based on how many cars here, what's the brands of the cars, Now we are not working only with 3 types of cars. We need to check the other types of cars, not only a few colors. We have a lot of variety of colors. Not all the roads like having traffic lights. Not all the roads have like this and that. So now we are like going to a bigger project. It's very big. It's like across all Indonesia. So in this step, when we have big data, the developers and scientists started to think about solution for this. If we go do this from, again, the same way we did in Bandung, it will be a long time to process. Because we already did it in Bandung and succeeded, here comes the idea of data science. So what's data science? Like the scientists, the people that have this idea said, okay, why we don't like make the computer do the job for us? We already did it one, we will teach it how to do it again. So all we need to do is give it new data, and the machine will automatically like do what we did before. Like it's very smart computer program that can learn by itself. So we start to give the data, the new data to the computer, and our developers created some machine learning model that can answer the question for the other cities. So all we need, after our developer from Bandung finished their work and they have good model and this model successful in Bandung, they will do it again in Jakarta, in Bali, in Sumatra. All they need from Jakarta and Sumatra and Bali and Surabaya, they want to get the data, collect the data, and we have the machine learning model ready, and it will help you directly to do the same thing.
Oke. Nah, tadi jadi kan ceritanya kita udah berhasil nih ya mengumpulkan data di Kota Bandung. Nah, lalu misalnya kita ingin mengumpulkan data dari kota-kota lain gitu ya, dari daerah-daerah lain di Indonesia, misalnya di Jakarta, Surabaya, Sumatera, Bali gitu. Nah, kalau misalnya kita harus melakukan step-step yang sama seperti yang kita lakukan di Bandung, itu akan memakan banyak sekali sumber daya gitu. Jadi kurang efektif, kurang efisien. Jadi kita itu membutuhkan big data gitu. Jadi big data adalah data yang jumlahnya sangat besar gitu. Jadi misalnya kita mengumpulkan data dari seluruh Indonesia. Nah, solusinya apa? Gitu. Jadi solusinya ada sesuatu yang disebut data science gitu ya. Jadi data science itu ketika kita membuat komputer untuk belajar gitu ya. Jadi kita seperti mengajari komputer untuk melakukan hal yang sama gitu ya. Jadi ini ada namanya bidangnya itu ada artificial intelligence, ada machine learning, ada deep learning gitu ya. Nah, jadi si data science itu tadi ngapain sih? Nah, jadi berdasarkan data yang udah kita kumpulin nih di Bandung, nanti dibuat suatu model ya, suatu program, lalu si komputer itu nanti dia akan mempelajari gitu ya, mempelajari dari data-data tersebut, sehingga nanti modelnya itu bisa diaplikasikan di tempat-tempat lain di Indonesia gitu. Jadi kita nggak perlu nih melakukan survei yang sama, tapi dengan adanya machine learning itu, dengan adanya data science itu, nanti komputer yang akan melakukan hal itu untuk kita. Okay, please continue.
So to summarize the journey that we did till we arrived to this stage, we collected all the possible data we want about our problem, and our problem this time was where I should open my car painting shop. Then we collected the data, we store this data in our database, we clean the data to be sure that all the data are valid data. Then our analyst analyzes data to get some information about where is the cars gathered, where is the most majority of cars staying, and we have it visualized on the map. And then we made the decision, like our client made the decision, like, and we helped him like to make data-driven decision to open his painting shop next to this location, which the data say that this is the best location for you. Then when it grow up, when this data grow and this process grow, we changed the decision step with the machine learning, the AI, the software that can help us to make the decision in everywhere else without us redo the process again. I think that's it.
Oke, jadi tadi yang terakhir adalah suatu kesimpulan gitu. Jadi kalau misalnya ada yang namanya data funnel, funnel itu corong gitu ya. Jadi prosesnya itu kalau misalnya kita summarize lagi. Jadi pertama kita mengumpulkan data-data, kemudian kita simpan data tersebut, kemudian datanya diberikan, lalu dianalisis ya. Jadi tadi misalnya dengan kita menganalisis data itu, kita jadi tahu daerah mana yang banyak mobil Toyota gitu misalnya ya. Nanti dari situ misalnya kita membuat model, membuat software, nanti komputer bisa melakukan analisis itu untuk kita gitu ya di tempat-tempat lain. Nah, dari situ kita bisa membuat keputusan di lokasi yang lain seperti itu. Okay, so that was all the presentation from Kak Soli. Itu tadi presentasi dari Kak Soli. Nah, ada yang punya pertanyaan? Ayo, jangan malu-malu ya. So usually the kids are shy to raise questions.
Ask, don't worry.
Oke, kalau gitu saya aja yang nanya dulu ya ke Kak Soli. So you are a data engineer, right? So other than data engineer, I also sometimes hear like data scientist and then data analyst. So what are the differences between all those terms?
Okay, good question. So we all work under the data umbrella, but it's like different from one to another what he is doing his daily job. Like as example, the data engineer focus more in collecting the data. So the first step we have here, and store the data and clean the data. So mostly the data engineers will work with a lot of like devices to collect the data from. So like your mobile app, we are tracking the data you do. Your Google Maps, we are tracking the way where is you are going. Your classroom, when you answer your question, your Facebook, all this stuff, the data engineers collect the data from there and they put it in the database. And when the database is not enough, we put it in data warehouse. And data warehouse is not enough, we put it in data lake. Big data. So we are collecting everything. Like, and as long as you collect data, this you need storage, more storage. So we are responsible in organizing it in the storage so we don't lose the data. And we remove also the old data that we don't need. And we clean the data. Like as we said, we are collecting all the data, and not all the data relevant, not all the data we need. So delete the bad data and clean the other data that you want. So this is mostly where data engineers focus. Then after that, when we have clean data, we give it to the data analyst. The data analyst is more to the people who are understanding what the data means. Like if he said like we have a lot of BMW here, why we have a lot of BMW here? So he is analyzing this data and he put it on charts or maps and so on. So the decision maker after that, he can just look at what the data analyst saying or visualizing and understand the summary of all the story. Like he don't want to go deep in what's database or what's this. No, he just want to understand that you can make the decision on the BMW because 1, 2, 3. So he did analyze the data in small sentence and small graphs. Then the data scientists mostly focus in making the decision-making process automated and make it like taking consideration all the edge cases that maybe we don't know yet, and make it automated for any new data come. He can directly make the prediction and the decision what to do. So in this funnel, the first three parts, data engineers working with, the second two parts here, data analyst working with, and the last one, data scientist working with. Of course, because they all work with data, they can know each other's job. They can do it partially or totally. But if we break it down to three rules, as you mentioned, then the first three, data engineer, then data analyst two, then the last one is data scientist.
Okay, I see. Jadi tadi saya nanya nih sama Kak Soli. Kak Soli, bedanya apa sih? Ada data engineer, ada data analyst, dan ada data scientist gitu. Jadi kalau data engineer itu pada dasarnya dia tugasnya itu mengumpulkan data, lalu menyimpan data tersebut, dan menjaga bahwa memastikan bahwa data itu bisa digunakan ketika dibutuhkan gitu ya. Jadi karena data itu biasanya besar sekali kualitasnya gitu. Jadi engineer itu harus memastikan bahwa data itu tersimpan dengan baik gitu. Kalau data analis itu dia kerjaannya menganalisis data gitu. Jadi dia tidak misalnya mikirin database-nya itu seperti apa gitu, tapi dia kerjaannya adalah menyimpulkan gitu dari data itu, dianalisis lalu dia mendapatkan kesimpulan. Lalu kalau data scientist itu dia lebih ke membuat modelnya gitu ya. Jadi nanti kalau misalnya di masa depan mau melakukan hal yang sama, itu caranya seperti apa gitu ya. Oke, gimana adik-adik, ada yang mau tanya? Ayo, jangan malu-malu.
Fani mau nanya Teh, izin bertanya.
Oke, silakan Fani.
Gini Teh, pertanyaannya tuh misal, ini lebih ke menganalisis data ya Teh. Contoh, Fani itu pingin membuat sebuah produk di sekolah gitu. Nah, cara tahu orang itu menyukai hal sesuatu dengan data kayak gimana gitu. Caranya biar, oh di dua-dua ini berapa persen itu suka terhadap hal ini gitu. Nah, sisanya itu nggak suka terhadap ini. Bagaimana sih caranya, bisakah dari survei atau apapun itu. Apalagi dalam hal online seperti ini ya Teh. Nah, cara yang cocoknya itu seperti apa? Seperti itu Teh. Terima kasih.
Oke, terima kasih Fani pertanyaannya. So we have a question from Fani. Her name is Fani. Her question was, so let's say she wants to make a product to be applied in her school, and she wants to know what do the kids like and what the kids don't like. What is the best method to get this answer? Is it like by surveying, or what is the best? Because like right now it's mostly online, so what do you suggest?
So yeah, this is very interesting challenge we are facing now after the schools became all mostly online. So in this case, I think the first tool we can use is the surveys. And we can have it online, like forms from Google Forms or other tools, to start to collect this data from students. So we have you can use Google Form. You build your form with the questions you want, and share the link with the students, and the students will give the answer. Google Form will put it directly to you in a spreadsheet, which looks like the table we show. So this is one valid solution. Of course, other solutions, you can create your web page and have it more visual stuff for the kids if you want. But it's still also it's under survey. Even so, you are creating it in different forms. It's a form of consider a survey. So in this case, I think survey will be the most efficient thing.
Oke, jadi tadi kata Kak Soli, di zaman yang online seperti sekarang ini gitu ya, apalagi misalnya susah nih ketemu sama teman di sekolah, itu paling gampang mendapatkan data itu dari survei. Maksudnya itu kayak semacam angket online gitu ya. Jadi kita bisa, Fani bisa bikin apa namanya?
Kucingnya kamu tuh kepesan.
Waduh. Jadi Fani misalnya bisa bikin angket online menggunakan misalnya Google Form atau misalnya kalau misalnya punya website sendiri gitu ya. Nah dari situ Fani bisa melakukan survei dan mendapatkan data yang diinginkan. Nanti hasilnya akan berupa seperti database seperti yang tadi dijelaskan oleh Kak Soli gitu. Jadi kurang lebih kalau untuk sekarang itu yang paling efektif dan efisien gitu ya. Gitu Fani.
Oke, thank you.
Thank you. Ada lagi yang mau bertanya? Coba.
Excuse me, I would like to ask a question.
Oke, Billy, please.
First of all, I would like to be a kind of data scientist. Do you have like suggestions for me as a noob? Yeah, I'm just started my web and some kind of programs. Thank you.
Sure. I will happy to share with you. So for data scientists, like, of course, you will need to learn some programming. Okay, so you can start learning Python. Python is a programming language, which are like commonly used for machine learning and data scientists and so on. And it's easy to learn. So this is one thing. Of course, there are other languages you can learn for if you want to focus on data science itself, but you can start always with Python language. Also, you need to learn statistics. So machine learning is statistics. So you need to learn statistics, a lot of it. And you need to refresh your mind all the time what this meaning and how it was doing and so on. Because people think that's like data science is only programming, but actually when you go deeper with it, you find that mostly you are working with metrics and how to work through all this data and how to make it like applied with a lot of mathematical equation and so on. So mathematics is important, statistics is very important. And this is a backbone of any data science there. Programming is important and it solves a lot of problems. So even if you are not that strong in statistics or math, you can master the programming and use libraries, what we call libraries, that other people built to do the machine learning thing. So just like start with Python and keep in mind statistics and what's the meaning of everything in machine learning.
Gimana, Billy?
Okay, sure. I see. Thanks, Gazillion, sure.
Oke, terima kasih Billy untuk pertanyaannya. Ada yang mau bertanya lagi? Mungkin satu pertanyaan terakhir.
Hi, Soli. I have a question, I think.
Yes,
when you do clean the data, so where exactly the data go? Like you said that there are a good and bad data, and then where the bad data goes. Like, I mean, if you say that, okay, we don't want Mercedes-Benz, so we just kick out the data, but then you can actually use the Mercedes-Benz data if, for example, the Mercedes-Benz client come to you. Will make more money, right?
Exactly. Yeah, you are correct. You are totally correct. So cleaning data process is not. Sorry. The easiest thing, we just delete the data that we don't want. This is the easiest thing to focus on our current problem. But actually, what we do, we take a copy of the original data and keep it with us. And then we make a new table having only the good data. Then from good data, we go to insights. So if we got a client for the Mercedes data, we go to the old table that's not cleaned, and we consider the Mercedes data and we start to fix the missing data, because we expect also that, yes, he got Mercedes, but the number of Mercedes will be less. It's only from one traffic light, not from the second. So we need to collect from the other traffic light as an example. So we always keep copy of the data. So that's why the storage go big. We reach to the level of big data because we don't remove the old data. As example, Google Maps always have your trips, whatever you use Google Maps, it have all the history of your trips. So we don't remove the old data. But to get a good data, we just take copy, clean, use, and so on. And yeah, you are correct. This data is valuable. We don't just throw it away. We take copy, clean, and use it. And yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Camila, for the question. So I think that will be the end of the question and answer session. And to summarize today's new knowledge about data. So today, Kak Soli told us about the meaning of the data and how to collect the data, how to clean it, and how to analyze it until the process that we can make decision with the data that we have. Kok jadi bahasa Inggris ya? Jadi dari presentasi yang tadi kita bisa belajar dari Kak Soli gimana caranya kita bisa mengumpulkan data, membersihkan data, menganalisis sampai kita bisa mengaplikasikan data tersebut untuk membuat keputusan gitu ya. Lalu kalau misalnya seperti tadi yang ditanyakan oleh Fani, misalnya di lingkungan kita sehari-hari nih, gimana kita bisa mendapatkan data, itu bisa misalnya lewat Google Form ya, menyebarkan angket, terus dari pertanyaan Billy kita bisa tahu kalau misalnya mau belajar lebih lanjut tentang data science ini, bisa kita belajar statistik, belajar matematika, itu sangat penting. Lalu belajar programming juga penting, misalnya Python gitu ya. Jadi kalau misalnya ada adik-adik yang tertarik, bisa mulai dari bidang-bidang tersebut. Oke, kalau gitu sekarang kita sebelum kita tutup, kita foto bersama dulu. Bisa dibuka semua kameranya. Kang Dayat bisa dibantu difotoin.
Oke.
Tolong aba-abanya ya, Kang.
Siap. 1, 2, 3. Sekali lagi ya.
Ya.
1, 2, 3. Good.
Oke, kalau gitu terima kasih semuanya untuk
Terima kasih
kehadirannya
semuanya.
hari ini. Terima kasih untuk Kak Soli sudah berbagi ilmu dengan kita semua. Kalau gitu sampai ketemu lagi di Sabrol selanjutnya. Semangat terus belajarnya ya adik-adik semua. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.